أعوذ بالله السميع العليم من الشيطان اللعين الرجيم. لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. اللهم صل على محمد سيد المرسلين وخاتم النبيين وحجة رب العالمين، المنتجب في الميثاق المصطفى في الضلال المطهر من كل آفة، البريء من كل عيب، المؤمل للنجاة، المرتجى للشفاعة، المفوض إليه دين الله. قال الله العظيم في محكم كتابه الكريم: بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. يا أيها الذين آمنوا قوا أنفسكم وأهليكم نارا وقودها الناس والحجارة عليها ملائكة غلاظ شداد لا يعصون الله ما أمرهم ويفعلون ما يؤمرون. آمنا بالله. صدق الله العلي العظيم. When it comes to the problems that families face in the 21st century, you find that there are many challenges for a family to stay religious, for a family to stay healthy, for a family to stay under one roof, loving one another, respecting one another. The challenges every day increases to such a family. You can put the families into different criteria. We have different types of families. One family you have that is toxic. You have family that is healthy. You have a family, for example, the free family. Free as in everyone has a freedom to go anywhere they like, to do whatever they please. They just have the name of family. But if you look, you find the husband goes and stays up night, the mother doesn't care that much, the children are not that much in relationship with one another. They don't know about one and another's affairs. They are very free. And the freedom here is different. Because many people, they push for freedom. We have different types of freedom. One freedom is that we say whatever we like. We have that kind of immunity to say what comes to our mind, and so on and so forth. You have another freedom that is really dangerous for a person to have, especially for a family to have, for the youngsters, and that is for them to do whatever they please, for them to go wherever they want to go, to get whatever they please to have. And this day and age, you find that one device takes you to whatever you desire, wherever you desire. And there is no restrictions for them. They see whatever they want to see, they listen to whatever they want to listen to. That free, so-called free family, it starts to be eaten from within. From within, it starts to destruct itself. You have another family that, if you look around, it's an oblivious family. Religion has nothing to do in this household. Religion has no word. You have some family, unfortunately, that if the month of Ramadan comes, it's like any other month. Fasting, recitation of the Quran, dua al-iftitah, dua al-jawshan, is not recited in this kind of families. To go to the mosque, to go to the Husayniyah, to the center, is not even discussed in these families. It is more of a family that we care about vacations. We care about traveling. We care about buying the newest gaming console. But when it comes to the month of Muharram al-Haram, to go at least 10 nights to gather around in the majlis to listen to Imam al-Hussein salamullah alayhi's ahadith, this family is not that interested. They are not interested to gather for any of these gatherings, because this is an oblivious family. They are not that much into religion, into faith. And that is alarming, because this family, they don't know the right of one another. They don't know the responsibility of one another. And I come to that in a moment. You have another family, this is the third family, that is abusive family. The father is very abusive. The way he talks with the mother, the way he talks with his children. On the other hand, the mother is very abusive with the father. The words that she uses, the cursing language, the foul language, the swearing at home. It is like a battlefield. It's like a battlefield in the home. And the number one victims of this family is the children. Until this family ends up in divorce, this couple divorce, and then these children will become the responsibility of the community. It becomes the responsibility of the government. It becomes the responsibility of the streets. And what kind of child will be raised in the streets? That is an abusive family. It will end up in divorce. It will end up with the child to go into one foster home to another. And that is in the United States, you find the money they spend every year. Last year, the statistics of the United States was more than $62 billion, the money they spent on foster homes and for divorces. $62 billion. And of course, this will increase, because when the child loses his father, his mother, the child goes into foster home, they're not brought up in a loving environment. What kind of a product will this child be? And that is an issue that is really alarming. We look around, we think that we have the best of the best because we live in the 21st century, we are so much advanced, but we have the same problems, and even sometimes more than the people they had in the 19th century, in the 18th century, when it comes to a family for it to be staying religious. And then you have the worldly family, as I mentioned, the family that is always and only looking for how can I make this house more comfortable for my children. Because when it comes to the parents, they have many concerns. One, the accommodation of my children. I want them to be living in a beautiful house. Of course, these kind of concerns are justified, but not to an extent that you forget about the religious side of it. I want them to have a beautiful house. Why not? Let them have the best accommodation, the best shelter, the best house. I want them to be riding the best car. I want them to be having the best food, wearing the best clothes. I want them to go to the best schools. But this is one side, and when it comes to religion, did your son pray Salat al-Fajr today? No. So what? Let him be free. You see, one part is really concerned about his son's education, about his son's, eating his food, her food, being nurtured right, about their children having the most comfortable way of life. But when it comes to the religious side of it, let them be free. Don't push them too much. He's now in his 20s and he doesn't even know how to recite Quran properly. Those are the issues that we face today. And the last one is a family that is Mahdavi family. Mahdawi. Mahdawi means what? Wala. A family that is really after religion. The number one priority is religion. How can I push them to be more religious? And if you look at the characteristics of this family, you find that the Mahdawi family, number one, is a family that is spiritual. When it comes to salah, if they can't attend a mosque, the father puts the sajjadah. When it's salah time, the father or the mother, they recite the adhan. And the children, regardless of their age, when they look at the example they have right in front of them, the role model they have right in front of them, they also come and they join for salat. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam one day was among his companions where he said, guide your families to the right path. Guide them to the right path. One of the companions by the name of Jabir ibn Abdullah al-Ansari, a loyal companion of Rasulullah, said to the Prophet, how do we do this? He said, do good. Do good. They follow your example. When they see that the father comes for Salat al-Jama'ah every night, the son tells his father, can I also join you? The daughter, when she sees the mother wearing hijab, the daughter says to her mother, I also want to wear hijab. When they see that you are reciting dua al-nudbah on a Friday, they also want to join in reciting dua al-nudbah on Friday. Reciting ziyarat al-ashura. Reciting ad'iyah. Supplications. When you stand to pray, they also come and join you. That is a Mahdawi family. Mahdawi family. This is the first part. This is the first one. A spiritual family. They just show them. They don't push them into corner. We're not aggressive. Please remind yourself, we are not aggressive because sometimes you find a child, they love this kind of environment. They like to come into the mosque to pray. They like to attend these gatherings. But the father is way too much aggressive. When the son or the daughter that are pushed into the corner, then they retaliate. They rebel. And we don't want that on our hands. So that's the first one. The second one, and this is not just for the family, this is for every individual, whoever is listening, taking responsibility of our actions. We always love to point out to one another. We never say, I am part of the problem, or not. Sometimes people say, I am the problem. We don't even say, I am part of the problem. That I have to fix myself first, and then go fix the others. We don't say that. We always point out to others, saying, he is the problem. She's the problem. And when the son, when the daughter, they see that no one is taking the responsibilities that they have to take, they're always pointing to the other person. They have their own shortcomings. They don't say that I have my shortcomings, that I have to come and change that into something that is productive, to push my family into salvation, push them into becoming a religious family. They always point, you're the problem, I'm not the problem. The mother says the father is the problem because he works too much. And then the father says the mother is a problem because she's always out with her friends. And then the children are sitting there watching this war between the two forces, between the father and the mother. And no one is prepared to take responsibility for their actions. They look around and say, what's happening? Then themselves, they become the product, saying, I'm not taking responsibility. Every party has to take responsibility of their actions. Then you see, if I take responsibility of my shortcomings, that I am part of the problem, then you see the families, they are changing. Why? Because the father and the mother, these two forces, that they have to help one another, They see that I have this responsibility, that it's bestowed upon me from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now I have to take care of that. And that brings me to the other point. And that is knowing the rights of one another. Huquq. The respected Sheikh knows, and the other ulama know, and Yusuf know how many divorces we had this year and the year before. How many did we have in this community? And how many weddings did we have? The number one reason of divorce is that we don't know the right of one another. Husband doesn't know the right of his wife. What do I have to do religiously? What is required for me to do? Ahlul Bayt alayhi made it clear. Imam Zayn al-Abidin wa Sayyid al-Sajidin Ali ibn Hussein alayhi in Risalat al-Huquq, the Charter of Rights, that is 51 rights, he mentions the right of your partner, of your husband, of your wife. What is required from one another? What do I have to do for my wife? For example, when it comes to the right of the wife on the husband, he has to shelter her. He has to feed her. He has to respect her. Respect her. If one doesn't respect the other, and the other thinks, well, I don't respect him, he doesn't respect me, then you see the son, the child, also doesn't respect the two parties. Huquq. We don't know the huquq. When it comes to weddings, and this brings us to families, because Allah pushes for families. If you look, there is an ayah in Quran al-Kareem, وَمِنْ آيَاتِهِ, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talks about himself, and he says, وَمِنْ آيَاتِهِ أَنْ خَلَقَ لَكُم مِّنْ أَنفُسِكُمْ أَزْوَاجًا لِتَسْكُنُوا إِلَيْهَا. Allah talks about family. That Allah created for you someone that you marry and you have a family. And then continues, وَجَعَلَ بَيْنَكُمْ مَوَدَّةً, between the two. And then when it becomes 3, 4, 5 children, you have mawaddah, respect for one another. وَرَحْمَةً, mercy for one another. إِنَّ فِي ذَلِكَ لَآيَاتٍ لِقَوْمٍ يَتَفَكَّرُونَ. Now when it comes to weddings, before that we have the aqd. Before that we have what? We have the gathering, they sit down. What is the number one issue they speak about? The dowry. How much can you pay for the dowry? No one speaks about, is your son religious? Is your daughter a religious person? That this man, when it comes to marry this woman, he doesn't just think of her beauty. He thinks that this woman will tomorrow become the mother of my children. 5 years in marriage, I look at her, she doesn't pray salah. She doesn't care about siyam. Then I'm looking at having a religious family. You didn't do your homework right. And we don't have those courses to bring the youngsters sitting down. This is the right of your partner. Know it. This is the right of the husband on his wife, and the right of the wife on her husband. Then the right of the parents on the children. We always speak about that. And then the right of the children on the parents. There's a lengthy hadith, beautiful hadith, inshallah, another chance, inshallah, go through it, where it says one of the rights of the child upon their parents is this, that the father chooses a right woman to be the mother of his child, of the children. This is before the child is even born. That is how much Ahlul Bayt alayhim salatu wassalam, the infallible imams, look into this family and the well-being of the family. Because this family needs a concrete foundation. Tomorrow you don't see it wobbling. That's why you look around, you see many problems, because no one has done their homework. Another right, when they get married, after they did their homework, that the two parties are religious, when they get married and the mother is pregnant, there are the rights The rights of the what? Of the child when the mother is pregnant with them. What she eats, what she listens to. And we have many hadith in regards to that. Because of the time, I can't go into detail. When the child is born, naming him or her the right name. If you look at all of this, in summary, you find that this is how much Ahl al-Bayt, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the prophets look into the importance of the well-being of the family. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guide all of us to the right path. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Allahumma kulla waliyyakal حجة ابن الحسن صلواتك عليه وعلى آبائه في هذه الساعة وفي كل ساعة وليا وحافظا وقائدا وناصرا ودليلا وعينا حتى تسكنه أرضك طوعا وتمتعه فيها طويلا يا رب الحسين بحق الحسين اشف صدر الحسين وظهور الحجة. الفاتحة قبل الصلاة على محمد وآل محمد.